All right, guys. Whoa. All right. Well, we're having little cooler temperatures, and that's good. That's a good thing. But it's still hot and humid. So what I want to talk to you guys about was the boat situation. I bought a boat. Now, I never owned a boat before in my life at all. And I haven't really been on a boat much at all in my life. I have a few times. I don't know nothing about boats. I mean, everything from this point on is just going to be everything I experience is what I'm going to learn, you know. But before I got the boat, I had been going out crabbing and fishing, okay? Now, we've been doing okay with the crabs, but with the fish, not good at all. Now, we come home with fish because some of the fishermen out there, they give us fish. They give me big old 2-foot-long catfish, you know? And it's enough for us to eat. So I'm not a fisherman. I didn't buy this thing because, this is gonna be my time where I'm gonna have some fun in my life and I get away and I go fishing. This is totally just like everything else I'm doing here. Is business, basically business, okay? Number one, another way of getting food for my family, and fish is a good source of you know, your fatty acids and your omegas and all that kind of stuff. And it's just another way to get food. And if I get down some things that I'm going to talk to you about, that I'm going to tell you that my plans with this, I could possibly even start bringing some money in. So it's just another means of bringing in food. Now, number one, I'm not a fisherman, and I know that because I don't have much experience in fishing at all. I am gonna get experience, but that's not the reason I got the boat either. Not so that I get experience. I can catch fish without being a fisherman. I can set bait lines out. You set them out and you come check them later, and most of the time you're going to have fish on it if you do it right. And that's my plan. My plan is I'm going to without being a commercial fisherman, I'm allowed to have, like, let's say for the crabs, crab traps. I'm allowed to, with my regular license, to have 10 of them. To have 10. Right now I have one. That's it right there. Okay, that's a crab trap. Okay, now they're expensive. They're $50 a pop down here, and there's areas where they're advertised for, you know, $32, $35. It's a far distance to go. But I got one guy that just got back with me today, and he's willing to do $37 a piece, and he's in Metairie, which is probably, out of all the places I've been looking for the nets, this would be the closest place, okay? Maybe 40 to 45 minutes away, okay? That's in the town where I grew up at, the city I grew up in, okay? Was Metairie, Louisiana. So somebody in that city is building these. See, I was going to buy the material and make them. Now I could buy the material and they'll probably run me about $25 a piece, and then plus my time. So I'm figuring for the $37, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with paying that. That's like paying somebody to make them for me, and I'm okay with it. They're not making a killing, like they're not making the $50 like everybody locally. They got people here selling them for $50 a pop. I paid $50 for that one, and that wasn't even a new one. That was a used one. I should have never bought it, but I didn't know what I was doing at the time, and I wanted to get one So when I go out fishing, I can throw that out and catch some crabs while I'm fishing. Well, it never worked out that way because I could never catch fish off the shore. Yeah, you know, out of all the fishing I've been doing in the last couple of months, I've only caught 2 fish on my pole. Had a lot of bites, but you just need a boat to go out where the fish are, where the bigger fish and where the fish are. So, saying all that, excuse me. Saying all that, you guys, is that I'm going to be making some bait lines to put out to catch catfish, and then I'll be able to use them. Might have to modify them some way, and that's what I'm looking at things on YouTube so that I can use the same lines for trout and for catfish. Okay, that way I could go out into Lake Pontchartrain where they got speckled trout, they got red snapper, they got drum, they got red drum, they got all different croakers, they got different. They also have catfish, but they also have the other kind of fish that I'd like to get. I love redfish. I love the trout. I love trout. And now I can't launch here and get to those spots. I'd have to drive a good distance, launch somewhere else, and get in the waters to get those. Okay, because Lake Pontchartrain actually is about 3 miles away from my house. That way, north. About 3 miles that way. 4 miles at the most. And that's Lake Pontchartrain. It's that close. But where I really have to go to catch the game fish that way is out east. Out east into where there's other lakes that connect Lake Pontchartrain to the Gulf of Mexico. So that's the area where I need to go. All right, and I am going to plan to do that. Not yet. I feel like I don't know enough about the boat, so I'm going to stay locally for a while, get the feel of the boat, and I'm sure I'm going to experience like some rough water at times, and I'll learn how to maneuver the boat in rough waters, because I don't even know how to do all that, guys. I really don't. And yeah, there's some fear in all that because I've never done it. I'm 62 years old. I can't move around like I did when I was younger, so it's like it's kind of scary. You know, it's just like being older and when I was younger, I could be up a 2-story house, 3 stories up. I've been in apartments where I'm walking across beams and bending over and laying out measurements for rafters and joists and all that stuff. No fear at all. I mean, nothing was around me. I could have fallen and died. And now, a 6-foot ladder I'm hanging on for my dear life. You know what I mean? It's just like that. You know, that kind of scenario is like how I feel when I go out in the boat. I feel like hanging on to that, like I hang on to that ladder. There's a fear there, but I'm gonna overcome it. I'm gonna learn how to work through all of that, because this is a way to bring in some food and some income. And so then I get people say, yeah, but man, that costs money, man, every time you go out. Well, you know, it costs money to do anything. And even on a homestead, it costs money to do every little project you see out here. Yeah, there might be ways you could do it very cost effective. You can get a hold of used materials somewhere, or you just make things work. But you spend money in the long run. If you've got to buy seeds, if you're not collecting your seeds, and then your water, if you're not collecting water, and you have to use your city water or your well water, where you're running your pump, and if that's electricity, it's some kind of way. It always costs something. Okay, so yeah, spending the money on the gas, it's costly, but you know, if I come home with, you know, anywhere from 6 to 10 dozen crabs. You know, crabs down here where we at are $3 a crab. It's $36 a dozen when you buy crabs down here. So it's like, if I get these crab traps and set them, hopefully I can do good once I learn the spots. You see, I got to get out and drop them certain areas and find the spots. And the traps, you leave them. Come back the next day, pick them up. So can somebody steal your traps? They sure can. Can somebody pick up your traps and get your crabs out of it without you know? They sure can. But you have tags on your stuff, and when somebody's picking up traps, wildlife fishery sees somebody picking up, they go over there to make sure. They want to see their license, and if it matches to the tags that's on those traps. And if not, they're going to get fined. They'll get in touch with me, and they'll fine them and see if I want to press charges, because it's really they're pretty strict. Wildlife and Fisheries is pretty strict. But anyway, I'm saying all that to just let you know about the boat. So I'm going to be making some bait lines, and I'm going to show. I'm going to show you here. I've been doing some research. I'm seeing how people are making these lines. Pretty inexpensive. I got to go spend probably $40 maybe to make 10, and I'm gonna start off with that. So when I'm gonna go out, my first time I go out with the boat, I'm gonna have my bait lines. I'm gonna throw them out, and then I'm gonna start fishing. And I might even bring that one crab trap with me and throw that out, and just have all that sitting out there for how many hours I'm gonna be out there, right? And then fish. And that's where I'm going to get my practice in. Now, but I'm going to be in waters where I'm going to have a better chance of hooking a fish or catching a fish than I'm doing off of the pier and off the shores, okay? I'm going to have a better chance because I'm where the fish are. Out by the shorelines, the big fish are not there for sure. The smaller ones are there, and they're not worth really taking home to clean. Now that I'm cleaning fish, I'm learning how to clean fish. That's another thing, and it's not that hard. Just got to make sure you got a good fillet knife, good sharp knife. But anyway, so I'm going to show you here how I'm going to make my bait line. So let me get everything set up, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing. And I'm showing you this because look, there might be somebody out there kind of like the same predicament as me. You've never really done this in your life. You're not, and every time you did go fishing, you never caught anything. That's the way I am, because you never went fishing enough to become like a real fisherman and learn how to hook fish. But yet, this might be making sense to you what I'm saying, and you might have access to a little boat. You don't even need one as big as this. I'm watching people on YouTube with these little flat boats, and I'm thinking, man, I could have really even went less expensive than this. But a flatboat. But one of the reasons I got this is it's bigger because of the fear I have of being in something small on the water, because I have no experience being on the water, So you might be in the same shape, predicament as me. You might even maybe have access to a boat. Maybe you have a boat. Somebody gave you one. You inherited one or something, and you just never go out in it because you just never done it before. Maybe there's fears like I have, and maybe you've went out once or twice and never caught anything, and it cost you money, because it costs money every time you take the boat out. It costs. So you gotta not just go out for joy. Because if you go out just for joy, yeah, you could blow $50 in gas and all that, and go out and come home with nothing, but you just had a good time out on the water in the boat, and you enjoyed yourself. That's great. But that's not my whole purpose. That's not why Carrie's doing this. Carrie's doing this to go bring home food. Not that we're starving to death and we need it, but it's just another way of having food. I raise chickens and quail. That's all I can grow here. Okay, I'm gonna try to definitely get into the rabbits, and really want to raise 2 pigs back here, but I'm not sure how all that's gonna pan out yet. So this just popped up. This was something that started to become a desire, but not a desire like, oh, I want to have a boat. Not that kind of desire. It's just like when I started the YouTube channel, there was a desire there to start showing what I'm doing in my little bitty backyard, and just share it with whoever subscribes to my channel. And because I'm gonna be going out soon. I've been waiting. Tomorrow I actually getting the starter for the motor for this boat. Now the motor works good. We started it up. It sounds good, but it doesn't start every time because the starter is weak. It's just wore out. So I got a starter. It's coming in the mail tomorrow. So once I get that on, my plans are going to be happening pretty soon. Also, I purchased a fish finder, a whole little, it's all in one. It's a fish finder, depth finder, and also a tracker to locate. So like if I go out in waters and I'm turning down wherever and I don't know where I'm at, I want to be able to get back. I don't want to get stuck out somewhere and get lost. I want to get home. So this would be a tracker, which I don't know how to use it all yet. So I got to get out on the water, start fooling with the buttons, and I've been reading up on it, but because you got to have it hooked up with that cable. I didn't do. I should have maybe kept that cable out so I could hook it up to a battery inside and work it, but I didn't do that, and everything's already run through the boat. I got it all running with all the wires in the boat, so I could sit in the boat and do it and practice it, and I can, and I will, and I have, but I haven't been moving in the boat for it to track, and I want to see a track line so that when I'm ready to come home, I follow that track line back so I can get back to the boat launch. So I got that in there. I got a trolling motor that it's got one thing wrong with it, but I can use it. I got a remote control with it. I could remote control it and everything. I went looking at it at Cabela's. It's like over $2,000 for that thing. I'm like amazed. So anyway, but there is something wrong in the mounting thing. I have to use a screwdriver to help set it back down. So, but I'm okay with that for right now. You know, once I find that I really need to get it fixed, I will. You know, but for right now, I don't know that need yet. You know what I mean? So anyway, okay, let me get my stuff together. I'm gonna show you my bait lines, how I'm gonna put them together, because this might be something you might. Maybe this might awaken something in you, like, okay, well, this is good, because I'm not a fisherman, I can't catch fish, but I can go set out traps that'll catch the fish, or catch the crabs, or whatever, shrimp. I bought a cast net, I went practicing, I learned how to cast now, and actually caught some little small fish that you can use to put on your fish lines to catch the bigger fish, and even to use them in my crab traps. So spending $30 on a cast net now is going to eliminate me having to buy bait, because now before I launch out, I could go into the shallower waters, cast my net and pull it in, start pulling in some smaller fish that I can keep and use for bait to catch the bigger ones. So there's a plus right there. I had to spend some money, but in the long run it's going to help me out. Now, one of the things I found, you know, the boat, you know, man, looking at it, oh, there's a lot of rum. Everybody says, man, it's plenty of rum. But man, once you get two people in here, and that's all I've had in here too. Well, I had two guys, and I had Eliana with us, and she don't take up much space, and she didn't have any baggage that she's bringing in. But the other guy came in here, you know, he had four fishing poles. He had his ice chest. He had another little thing that he had with his drinks in it. You know, so once you get another person here and he brings all his stuff, and I got my stuff, well, this space here that looks like a lot of space really begins to gets all used up. And actually what happened was he wound up being up there, sitting up there fishing that way. I was in the back here by my chair fishing here using both of these rod holders, and the whole middle here was filled with our ice chests and everything, you know. So and fishing poles and everything. So I bought these fishing pole holders today. See them right there? And I anchored those there. So I got 3 poles there. Now I'm going to go buy 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go buy 4 more of them. This pole won't fit in it because this handle's too thick to fit in there. So this pole, it's a little kind of a, I don't want to say it's a kiddie pole because that reel is pretty good. But it is a lightweight pole, and that's going to be something I'm going to use for brim and sacre and just you know, even bass. You know, I just need, it's only got a 4-pound line on it. I want to put a little heavier line on it. And but anyway, I'm going to put another one of those right here next to that. I'm going to put one here on the same kind of angle. So I have 2 more poles I can put here. And then over here, I'm going to put one over here that would go up. It's going to miss all that. And from here, it don't look like it would, but it would. I'm going to put one there, and I'm going to put one on this end. So that'll be 2 poles here. So that'll give me a total of 8 holders for 8 poles. Okay, so that should help out a lot in keeping all that off of the deck of the boat. Okay, so that, you know, as time goes on, I'm going to figure out some other things. I'm actually, these are storage bins here. Here's one here. You can see here. See how it opens, and then there's one over there. But I'm converting that one into a live well. That way, that's another thing we won't have to add on here, but that'll be a live well. Okay, meaning I could put the live bait in there. I have a little thing I got hanging right there, which I got to anchor some kind of way on there. I'm going to figure that out. And that'll, you turn that on and it puts bubbles in the water, gives air to the fish so that your bait stays alive. Okay, you can be out all day, your bait will stay alive. This thing off of 2D batteries will run for 44 hours. So got plenty of juice with 2D batteries in there. And so that can hold, I don't know how many gallons yet, but I'm not going to put no more than 10 gallons because that thing, they say, works up to for 10 gallons. Okay, so that I might not even need a whole 10 gallons. I might get by with 6 or 7 gallons of water and the bait we're going to have. It ain't like we're going to need a ton of bait. So, but I'm going to learn all that as time goes. I'm going to know what I'm going to need to do with it. Okay, so that's going to be a live well. Okay, so that's taking up another thing that we don't need. Now, I do need an ice chest to put the fish that we catch in, and I wanted to do that with this one and make this one a place to just put ice in it. Would have to insulate it some kind of way, the inside, you know. By the time I insulate it, it's going to make it a lot smaller, and then I don't have much storage. But the thing is, I have storage under there. Okay, all of that under there is storage. Now you'd have to bend down and get it, but there's storage there. There's storage there. Okay. Now it gets wet on the very bottom, right in the front here, because of this door. However, that was put on. It just, water gets in there. So I'm trying to figure a way I could redo that door and make it airtight where we won't get water in it. And then I could really store stuff in there, and then maybe do something with this. Maybe not necessarily have to insulate it, but pack it with ice, and we could still put fish in it. I don't know. I have to figure it all out, guys. Still figuring things out. And then right now I'm looking for some aluminum plates that I can put. I'm going to take the seats off, and I'm going to put an aluminum plate down there and anchor it down. Then the seats, I bought a pedestal that's going to raise it up 7 inches. And then I'm since the plate will be there, I'm going to be wanting to move it back as far as I can that way. It ain't going to be a whole lot, but if I can get another inch, 2 inches, that'll give it some more clearance there, and I'm not right on top of this, and it'll be a little easier to run this if this is back a little bit. Okay, I can't do anything else with it except what I'm telling you I'm going to do with it. I got to put a plate down there because I'm not sure how strong that would be just to set a pedestal on there and raise that up, and then all the weights at the top. It could weaken the fiberglass and crack it. I don't want to do that. So I'm waiting to hear from somebody on some aluminum plates, and I want to raise both of them up because when I was fishing the other day and I had the back of the boat, it would have been nice if this seat was higher, so you could sit up a little bit like this seat, you know, and fish. Like this is too low, but if 7 more inches would give me a little higher than that, probably. Okay, but that could be adjusted and go up even probably 7 more inches, you know what I mean, or whatever. But that's the height I'm looking for. So anyway, okay, so that's what's going on with the boat situation, guys. I know I'm a homesteader and it's a homestead channel, but this is part of my homestead here now to go fishing and catch fish and crabs and whatever else I can do with the boat to bring in food and finances for my family. I don't see nothing wrong with it at all, including in on my homestead channel, because it's a means of providing for my family. So I'm trying to make this thing to work as easy as I can for me, because it was crammed with just me and Will. We went out without Eliana, just me and him, and with all our stuff in here, and I was like, there's no way we could put a third person in here, because I got a couple of friends I was going to have 3 of us go, but there's no way that there would be enough room, you know. So I want to have enough fishing pole holders to keep the fishing poles off the floor, so I'm not stepping on them. They're not in the way. That would help out a lot. Okay. And you know, I'm even thinking myself, if I got to do some stuff in here to make whatever I got to do. I mean, I've had thoughts about, since you know, if I can't use this for anything, just use it for storage. Cutting the hole out over there and dropping something down there where that would be an area to put fish. But you know, I was just trying to think of ways just to kind of help keep another ice chest out of here, you know, because we got to have drinks. We got to have something to drink all day long. And I'm gonna tell you, man, this thing is cram packed with stuff that we even got some stuff over there. I tried to keep it out, but I got some stuff, so I got to rearrange some things. I need to redo this door some kind of way. Boy, if I can find something to do that door, that right there is 2 plates. I could cut that in half, and that would give me the 2 plates I need for over here. I'm just looking at that, so I might start looking for another door, and it would have to be aluminum, and I got to find a way to secure that where water doesn't leak in there. And if I can do that, then I can keep some things in there. There's some things I don't want to put in there because I don't want them getting wet, like the life preserve jackets, you know, and the flare gun, things like that, you know. Now I have if I could keep this seat back a little bit, and I'm just kind of sitting back here, and I don't have to sit down. When I sit down, my feet have to go up under here. If I could be more where my feet are hanging right here, close to the seat, you know what I'm talking about? My feet would be hanging here, and the seat would be able to move back a little bit, and I could sit here, and my feet here. I got all this area under here that I could put a small ice chest without drinks in it and stash that underneath that. Okay, we couldn't put nothing under there before because sitting down in here, it's so low, your feet have to go somewhere. Your legs and your feet got to go somewhere. See how low your butt is? So if I could raise this up 7 inches, get my butt up here, and my legs can hang down here and not have to spread them out this way, then that's an area right there that I can put a small ice chest that'll hold our drinks and maybe even sandwiches and lunch. You know, whatever we want to do could go there. Okay, I'll even buy another ice chest that'll fit just for that spot. You know what I mean, or whatever I got to do, and that would eliminate more space out here. And that would just really we would just need the one more ice chest to put all the catch in. Right, so that would be taking up the space right here, basically. So it would be right in the middle of moving around, and that's why a third person, it would be very hard to put a third person. If I put 3 people in here and everybody wanted a seat, the 2 people back here would be hitting each other while they're trying to cast. This guy up here would have it made in the shade. He'd be all by himself up there. He could cast. He ain't got to worry about nothing. It'd be easy sailing up there. Back here, it'd be a problem. Okay, so if we had a third person, I would want to put some kind of cushion on top of this storage bin and make this a seat. Okay, and this guy here can fish from here. And sitting down is going to be, you know, hard to sit down while he's fishing. That's why this is really a 2-man boat more than anything. 3-man, 1 guy, it's going to be uncomfortable. 2 guys are going to have a hard time casting, have to constantly watch out for the other guy. And it might work, you know. But ideally, this is set up for 2 people. And there you have it. Okay, I'm rambling on about the boat. Maybe I don't care about it, but anyway, it's just things I'm doing to the boat. It's part of what we're doing on the homestead here. And I just got one other thing to fix, would be the trolling motor. It works and everything, but once you launch it, it doesn't come down. You have to get in here with a screwdriver and pry up something because there's something broken in. And I might try to remove that, take it apart, and look at it real good and see if I can fix it any kind of way. I just ain't had the time to do that, but I'd love to do that because it's once you get it down, when you're out there and you're in the water, you got to just raise it all the way up so you don't hit nothing when you're coming in, you know. So anyway, I think that looks pretty good on the boat right there where I got the poles. That looks pretty good. You see, I seen what gave me the idea, I seen several boats out at the boat launch where they got their poles sticking straight up like that. And I'm like, wow, there you have it. All right. Okay, guys. Let me go finish making my catfish lines. And we're going to be videoing when we go out. I want to show you what's going on, how we're doing it, what we're doing. And just so, you know, if you have any fears of it, maybe you could conquer your fears. Because I mean, I've always had a fear of water, and I still do. Okay, I respect the water because I have a fear. I'm not a good swimmer at all, and so I don't want to do anything stupid. I'm a very careful and cautious person, especially out on the water. I'm not going to do anything to try to show off anything or try to do anything just to prove that I could do something good. I'm not doing all that. What I'm doing is trying to make this boat safe and easy to operate, and so that we can go out and have a successful fishing trip and come back with food. And all right, so here we are. And that would, you know, I set this up that I could spin that chair around and sit up higher while I'm fishing and kind of just like you can on the front. That'd be nice. And both chairs you could use, actually, if you're fishing back here. I don't have to do this chair. That one I have to do. So I'm waiting to hear back today from a guy if I can get a piece of aluminum. Then if I can get it, as soon as I get it, I'm going to be raising that chair up. And it'd be easier to see too. You know, it's a little rough to see. You know, because when you start going out, your boat's up on an angle like this. Until your boat stays like that until you go fast. When you start going fast, it planes down, and then you can see better. But while it's up, it's hard to see. So if I can get myself higher, that would help. All right, guys, I'm rambling on, and let me go finish this, and I'll show them all the bait lines when I'm done, and I'll show you all the pole holders, because when Mindy gets back, I'm going to take a run to Walmart and go buy 4 more of them and get those put on. So, okay, guys. All right, I'll see you on the update.